Choyo sampo pa gyo trashi pa tuche tempe trinle yarmoda pelge trolor zampe ze parche palden lame shabla solvade Oma Guru Vajradhara Suma Timoni Shasane Kar Uta Vardani Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Oma Guru Vajradhara Suma Timoni Shasane Kar Uta Vardani Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Oma Guru Vajradhara Suma Timonish Uta Vardani Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Oma Guru Vajradhara Suma Timonishasan Uta Vardani Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Oma Guru Vajradhara Suma Timoni Shasani Uta Vardani Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Oma Guru Vajradhara Suma Timoni Uta Vardani Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Om A Guru Vajradhara Suma Timonishas Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Dhage Jetsun Lama Tuje Che Nyamda Dala Tuje Sikso So Gebe Shesan Dala Tendo So Uyon Sunge Nawa Tsedo So Tseje Ningne Solwa Debe Tse Dechen Korlo Visu Lekshune Yila Sambe Dede Malupa Gemel Hunge Drubra Chinge Lo Tsoni Sodan Diktun Shakpe Tse Dinge namke yinsu lekshune labchen tsoni yonsu Chamara jinge lo chancho parge nintsen tukuntu Niu peme siudru lekshune chancho drube gegen kunshishi Tungen de la drubra jinge lo dage lo na chola chokpa Chomi samjura ngemba shiwa Chodan tumbe dödö malupa bemel hungi drubra chingilo dorna tingne tsera tamche dan techi pardu nekav tamche tu rese kyamne lama kele me tukche chingi dala siksu sol gongyab drewe nyamda dachala jetsun lame tuje rab gongne Kodan sungi nawa dralme tu nyamsu nyongwe kesan toprasho Kewa kuntu yanda lama dan rame cheki pela longchechi Sadan lamge yunde rabzone dorje change kopa nyur tobu sho Pakyu ke kudan dagi olu Pakyu ke dagi nga Pakyu ke tukdan dagi ye Tön yerme çıktı çingi lo Makyu ke kudan dagi lo Makyu ke sundan dagi nga Makyu ke tukdan dagi me çıktı çingi lo
Before starting the sadhana, I would like to explain a few things, to use these moments to give some hints about the sadhana. In our path, there are two main qualities that need to be developed. And we find this in many different moments. There are, on one hand, there is what is represented by the female energy, that is the wisdom, a coherent view of reality, that is also called wisdom. And then we have the other part, that is the method, that is also connected with the male energy, that is the part of love and compassion, mostly. And these are the two main qualities that need to be developed. So we have love, compassion, and coherence, harmony, that is called wisdom. Wisdom is not on a conceptual level, but on a experiential level. It's how one experiences reality in a coherent way. In an incoherent way of perceiving reality is perceiving everything as if they were autonomous, independent, separate, objective. And in order to familiarize with these two antidotes, so against our own selfishness and obsession with self-gratification, we have love, and against our ignorance of grasping to an intrinsic existence, we have the emptiness of intrinsic existence. And these two aspects are repeated constantly during the sadhana. Since when we do the blessings of the mala, if you remember, when you do the blessing of the mala, you have the two hands on which there is the sun and the moon that represent them method and wisdom that are put together in the mala. So that means that we unite love, compassion with the correct view of reality. And then every moment at the beginning of the practice, we go over and over on it with the refuge, with the bodhicitta that is connected with love and compassion. Every time that there is rays of light that go and emanate and are to help all beings, it's always to help us familiarize with love and compassion constantly, to go back there. That is, we emanate to others, that is, we go out of that obsession with self-gratification. So for example, when we do, starting from the offerings, so if we look at page just at the beginning, page 42, we have the blessing of the inner offering and of the outer offerings. We always start with the mantra Om Vajram Amrita Kundali Anahana Humpet, and as you have already seen, when there is the word Vajra, one of the ways of pronouncing it, the Sanskrit word in Tibetan is Benza. It's two different pronunciations, but it's the same word. So one of the ways in Tibetan to pronounce Vajra is Benza. So often in the way of reciting some mantras, it's transmitted, let's say like in the oral tradition, Benza, with Benza. So it's common to use Om Benza Amrita. They are both correct, both Benza and Vajra. So let's say that you write Vajra and you read Benza, because also in Tibetan, if you go and read, it says Vajra, but you read Benza. Now we don't go and understand these mysteries, because I don't know if we will ever manage, but these are some mysteries. Anyway. So sometimes me being used to having learned these mantras by at least hearing them from my masters. My master have always said benza, so it's automatic for me to say benza. So this is just to give you like the sense that wherever it says Vajra, you can also recite benza, and the other way around. So this is just a detail. Because one says, "Ah, no, it's written the wrong way." No, actually, it's right, but Amrita Kundali is a deity that has the job, the duty to eliminate interferences. And here, the interferences that we eliminate on the offerings, the main interference is our own grasping, as if that was something objective, autonomous, independent. When we do this, what we recite, we go and say, here the translation, it's not really correct, because nothing can become of the nature of emptiness, because there isn't anything that is not of the nature of emptiness. So when we say Tompani to cure, everything dissolves into emptiness, becomes empty. What does it mean actually? We have the offerings in front of us. When we say it dissolves into emptiness, it becomes of the nature of emptiness, becomes empty, what do we want to say? Let's imagine this bell. All phenomena as this bowl, and at the same time can be innumerable things. How many different things can this object be? It can be a bowl, can be a cup, like a pot, many things. Every phenomenon that we perceive at the same time, in the same instant, can be innumerable, to not say infinite possibilities. We, as the observer, so to speak, we choose one of these innumerable possibilities and we go and attribute that. In our ignorance, we see our choice as the reality. Are we there on this? We should try to see what happens when, if I look at this object that I call bowl, and I manage to see that the bowl exists, but doesn't exist independently from the value that I am attributing on that. And to try to see that in the infinite possibilities. What happens is that when we open to the infinite possibilities, we can't have the bowl anymore. I don't know if this is clear. I try to explain a bit better without getting too long in this. This object here, what is this? Do we all agree? So I say now this becomes a cup. Does it work? Yes. But if I start to drink the water from here and I tell everyone let's drink the water, and during the retreat we use this as the glass, using the entire retreat, how do we see it? Like a bell that is being used as a cup or as a cup? How do we see it? A bell that is being used as a cup. Or do we see the cup and that's it? It's a bell, right? Why? Because this object appears to us as if it was a bell in an autonomous, independent way. It's a bell because it's a bell, not because I have attributed the value. It's just a bell. Doesn't have to do with me. But if we go and analyze and see the object itself, it's nothing else but a whole of parts, and it has many different possibilities according to what we attribute. So I attribute the name bell, and for me it exists as a bell. If I take out the name, it's as if that would dissolve, and I don't know what it is anymore. So when we say the offerings dissolve into emptiness, I remove the grasping of the intrinsic existence of that object. I remove the name that I attribute to it. And at a certain point, it's as if it's there, but it's not there. And from this lack of identity arises what is and what is there, and we give a new name to it. So when I say the offerings dissolve into emptiness, in the second part, maybe it's even easier, at page 45. Offerings dissolve into emptiness, and from the sphere of emptiness, that is, from the lack of an intrinsic existence, that it's not like emptiness intended like that it's just empty, and then we turn it on again. I remove that perception, I remove that attribution as something that exists like that in an autonomous, intrinsic way, and when I remove that and I don't have anything more, it's as if it's not there anymore. And so with awareness I go and attribute a value again. So from this lack of intrinsic existence arises the come syllable, and from that come vast and expensive skull cups. The cups of the offerings are visualized as if it was like the part of the head, so it's not like something kind of gloomy, because it is said that in our body, the part where there is the subtle body, there is the white bodhicitta, that is what is the subtle substance that when it melts, it generates a deep state of bliss and joy. It's normally in the crown chakra. So the fact that the offerings are in the head represents that white bodhicitta, that state of bliss, inside of which, from the whom, arise substances of offerings. Their nature is bliss and emptiness, that is, the nature of each one of the offerings. So there is water to drink, water to wash the feet, flowers, smell and so on, incense and food, music. Their nature is that it's of bliss and emptiness, that is, they are empty of intrinsic existence, that each one of these offerings doesn't exist in an autonomous, independent way, and it's perceived with a profound and deep joy and bliss. They appear in the aspect of substances of single offerings. What does this mean? That each one of the offerings, the water to drink, to clean, to wash the feet, the incense, the smell, and so on, are all of the same nature, that is the nature of bliss and emptiness, and they have different appearances. Singular of offerings, that means each one of them with a different appearance, and the function of these objects is to generate a state of bliss in the senses, in the hearing, in the feeling, in the smelling, in the touching. It generates a state of bliss, of enjoyment of the six senses, to bestow exalted, uncontaminated bliss. So the function is to bring a deep state of bliss. So the fundamental point here, when we do this, when we say it dissolves into emptiness, it's not as if we go there and turn it off and it's not there anymore and then it comes back again. We can also visualize it more or less like that if you want. But more than that, it's the fact that if you see something and you remove the value there, the attribute, that it's not there anymore, the name, then I don't have what to grasp to anymore. It's as if I also wasn't there anymore. So it's like if I take this book, what is this book? It's nothing else but a whole of parts composed by pages and so on, to which it is given the name book. If I remove the name book, I only have like many parts. So similarly to this, in front of the offerings we remove the name, because let's remember ourselves, it doesn't exist in an autonomous, independent way, and for a moment we are not able anymore to perceive it. So we need to give another name. So we choose what name to give it, what value to attribute, and from that it arises. And the inner offerings that we have at page 42, it says, from the sphere of emptiness, from Yam comes wind, from Ram comes fire, and from Ha a grate of 3 human heads. Above this, from Ha comes a broad and extensive school cup. Inside are the 5 meats and 5 nectars, which melt and transform into a great ocean of uncontaminated nectar. Let's try to understand a bit better. Here there is a symbology. Outer offerings are those that are objects of the 6 senses, external 6 senses. The inner offerings, refers to mind and body. What is internal, in general, in the phenomena are divided between external and internal phenomena. So the internal phenomena are those that are related to the mind of the body. The only part of the body that is related to the outer phenomena are the nails and the hair, because there is no nervous system. So it's part of like a phenomenon that is between the outside and the inside. But in general, the other things we have internal phenomena of the body. So an inner offering means to transform our own body and our mind from a state that is impure to a pure state. Transforming the body and mind, we generate a state of bliss, and that is what is being offered. And that is also the basis to bless everything else. So this object here that is called the inner offering, that is used to bless also the outer offerings, the plates and everything. What is the symbol? What we bless with is, and purify with, is this inner state of bliss. So in the practice of self-healing, Eyam Ram Ram Bam, the wind is in the secret chakra, the wind blows, the fire grows, the earth warms up, the water boils. It goes up to the head where it condensates, and it goes down like a rain of nectar. It's the same thing that it's written here. So there is Yam of wind, so from that there is the Ram of fire, and from that there are these this grate of 3 human heads. If we had to be more precise in the symbology, it's 3 heads of 3 colors. We have the white head, the blue head, and red. That in the symbology, a bit kind of dark. It's like a dry white head, one that is just being cut off, that is a bit red, and the other one that is blue. That then they represent the 3 levels of the wisdom of intrinsic existence. Means to transcend the 3 forms of ignorance, that is the grasping of the autonomous existence of the I and of the 2 levels of the phenomena. So this represents the correct view of reality. So on top of this comes a skull cup, that is the crown chakra. What happens is that the fire moves, the wind moves, and the fire grows, and it cooks like the 5 nectars and the 5 meats. The 5 meats represent the 5 aggregates, so body, sensations, discernment, the compositional factors, and consciousness. And the 5 nectars represent the 5 elements that are what makes the being in the inside, makes up the being. So what happens is that this project, this process purifies the body and the mind, the 5 nectars and the 5 meats that transform into a state of bliss. So in the self-healing practice, this happens in the Eyam Ram Lam Bam. So the wind blows, the fire grows, it goes and purify our body until we get to the head, and it generates bliss, and it purifies the whole body. So here we have the same symbology. We purify the body, we completely purify our own mind and body, generating a deep state of bliss. When then, subsequently, we always use the left hand and the ring finger, because there is the channel, the bliss channel there. So we use this to offer, and when we do the offering to a frontal generation, you offer it like this. When you offer it to ourselves, oneself experiences it. And here there is a part of, how can we say, there are two ways, or either one does it like this, or in a more educated way, so to speak. One touches, then touches the palm of the hand, and then experiences the palm of the hand, to not put one water of the mouth in the cup. This is just a detail. The important thing is that when we offer the inner offering, it always represents the state of bliss. This deep state of joy and bliss that doesn't come from an external context, from the stimulation of the senses, but it's a bliss that comes from the body and mind in a pure state. So an innate bliss, deep, that is represented. So during the practice, constantly we come back in touch with this state of bliss, to remember ourselves that everything is empty of intrinsic existence, always emptiness. We repeat it many times, and both from the beginning and also, from the motivation and the recitation until the recitation of the mantra, we generate love and compassion. So let's remember ourselves that during the session we try to mostly during the recitation of the mantra, avoid getting up, to walk, to drink, to eat, and so on. Today I have turned off the automatic door, so that if someone has to go out, doesn't go out. If someone has to go out, you just need with the finger to push it a bit so it makes less noise. So if someone that wants to come in from outside just stays there like that. So because it's an interesting thing to see is that when we are in a context that is quite uncomfortable, that is like sitting for long and doing a mantra, because we're not used to it. If we have the chance to get out of it, we will find 1,000 of excuses. But if we have to keep ourselves and to say, no, just wait, then we go and transcend that moment, and then at a certain point we relax and it becomes pleasurable. Then I repeat, if someone doesn't feel well for whatever reason and has the need, that you're welcome to get up. Otherwise, we stay sitting. So let's start. And as you have seen, what we have just said, there is the way of saying in Tibetan. Without sutra, do means sutra, nak is tantra, it's just hum pepe. Without sutra, tantra is just hum pepe. Then also hum pepe has a beautiful meaning that is already a lot. Hum represents the union of method and wisdom, the enlightened mind, and pe means to clean with the broom, to remove. So pet is used to remove the grasping of intrinsic existence. This is the meaning that is also used for pe. But again, Tantra is a tool to help us realize the path that Buddha transmitted to us, and we see that what we learn with philosophy done during the practice is fundamental. Page 28. we breathe in for a while.
Namke tada nyambe simchen tamche tu dine sonde jisi chanchu Ningbo la chigi pardo panden lama tamba namla kyapsu chiwo zope sang Chomden de namla kyapsu chiwo tambe che namla kyapsu chiwo pakpe gendu namla kyapsu chiwo ya tada drowa namke tada nyambe simchen tamche tu dine song jise chanchu ningpo la chik Pande lama tamba namla kyapsu chiwo zobe sange chomde de namla kyapsu chiwo tambe che namla kyapsu chiwo pape gendu namla kyapsu chiwo ya dadan drowa namke tada nyampe Simchen tamche tu dine sonte jisi chancho ningbo la chigi pardo pande lama tamba namla kyapsu chiwo zope sange chumden de namla kyapsu chiwo pape gendu namla kyapsu chiwo sangye chodan tsogi chonamla chanchu pardo dani kyapsu chi dagi jinso gibe didagi drola pinchira sangye druparash sangye chodan tsogi chonamla chanchu pardo dani kyapsu chi Dagi jinso gibe didagi drola pinchira sangye druparasho sangye chedan tsogi chonamla kyapsuchi Dagi jinso gibe didagi drola pinchira sangye druparasho Io e tutti gli esseri viventi che eguagliano
I and all living beings equal in the extent of space, from this time forth and until the essence of enlightenment is attained, go for refuge to the glorious holy Gurus. Go for refuge to the Bhagavan, the complete Buddha. Go for refuge to the sacred Dharma. Go for refuge to the Arya Sangha. From now until enlightenment, I go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Supreme Assembly. Through the virtues I have accumulated through giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha for the benefit of migrating beings.
Yandakpra zope sangye gi kopan rinpoche chine kyan topra cha te chirtu jetsu ma pama drolme nel jur nyamso langwara ke In
particular, for the welfare of all living beings, I must attain quickly, the precious state of a perfect, complete Buddha. Therefore, I shall practice the yoga of the Arya Mother.
Tamchen dewa dan dewe gyudan dembra kyurchi Simchen tamche dunga dan dungal gi gyudan tralwara kyurchi Simchen tamche dunga mepe dewa dami chelwar kyurchi. Simchen tamche nyerin chada nidan rewe tan nyomla ne par kyurchi. Namo Guru yo Aryatareya. Ramchangyal Kuntin Le Ningpo Chi Yi Zhe Je Ge Lam Kur Tempa Si Shi Jik Pa Kun Drol Je Tsumar Sol Wa Dev So Cho Tung O Drubut Sol Lo Sangya We Sab Ge Tam Che Ki Ter Tse Wan Ju Ge Ge Sar Shepa Pa me je son karge wang po la sol wa dep so cho tung o drubut sol lo dro tsal ten kien sa yal dab la lek cha she dru tempe si nga ro ngo dru de ju yong du wang po la sol wa dep so cho tung ngo drubut sol sab se ye she lab tri ma tre lung kan tu gya tsor ki le nam shi gyun bev ke kyab da den che wang po la sol wa dep so cho nga wa lung to rin chen ter zo tu tsul trim jor we dro la ming drol ki de gu char be sam pe wang po la sol wa dep so cho tu ngo drubut sol lo dro sam po chen ton dong a ki tup te yong la sik pe ngo tsar tam sang zu dor che zin pe wang po la sol wa dep so cho tu ngo drubut sol nga wan cham pe ning po ge le ten mi nu zin pe nam dren gyal tsen cho shab drun tam pa dru pe wang po la sol wa dep so cho tu ngo drubut sol nga wan lo san jam pe yang ni ki tem pe ning po zin la da trel shin ngo dru char pe dru pe wang chu la sol wa dep so cho tu ngo drubut so cham se kem ba lo sang gyal wa tempe nim po zin pe pel gyur chin chin le gya tso chin chen la ma la sol wa dep so cho tu ngo drubut so lo sang gyal wa kun ge ye ram jang kil kor gya tso cho du gun sol wa dep so cho tu ngo drubut sol lo che sam po pa gyur tra shi pa tup chen tempe tin le yar ngo da pe che dro lor tsam pe tse par chen sol wa dep so cho tu ngo dru sol de tra la da la me chin nup ki tu mo lam gi rang gyo lek chang ne sa la rim ni to pa ngun gyur te son jo pa me ran she nyur tong sho ter ma son yang chi war ngun cho tse shi lam tong shi se pe lam gi tar nyur lam gyu wo song gi chul kor ki du shi tra tso trung ne chim par sho ke wa kun tu yang da la pe la long che chin sa da Rabzone dorje changi kopa nyurtobu sho. Guru Buddha Aryatara
Guru Buddha Aryatara comes to us and she sits with joy on our head, looking in the same direction as we do, with her central channel aligned with our central channel, in the aspect of our own Guru. At her heart there is the Supreme Mother Aryatara. At the heart of Aryatara there is a seed syllable Tam, surrounded by the mantra. And as we recite the mantra, we request for her blessings, and from the 5 chakras of Guru Buddha Aryatara, rays of light and nectar emanate of the 5 colors, which are absorbed in our respective chakras, purifying our negativities, revitalizing our qualities, bringing us the blessings of the body, speech and mind, and the qualities and actions.
Yerme trinchen tsawe lama ni kudo karmara tsembe langsorde chaye chuche dorje pe karada yembe tribu tanche pe makar zimbe chuge nyende damage chugo sumso serdo pensheze dorje kiltron ve kuru na shu tukra lakpe lamo markedo chaye chuche yembe utapal kuncho sumso chage tukrazi tarda rinche genge trebalu yekya yungo vekuro vishope tukra tamye chango vesera par semba sumge dani chingurupe nengar a honda sohetse nanto yeshe rana riksesel tuge vege kyamne malupa chendra timbe kundu dani gyur Chitso norbu chancho pardo shu gosung gupe yigi chatselo ngosha yitru chopa malubu tome nesa diktont kepra gewa kunla cheira sabchin kyachen chungro kortoso dashen gewa chancho chembor mo tukra tinzin sembe takoroto Ige chupe ngagi korwar kyur omtare tuttare ture soha omtare tuttare ture somtare tuttare ture. soha om tare tuttare ture soha. Omo a guru vajradara sumati monisha sanekar uta vardanya shri badra varsa manya sarva siddhi hum ma guru vajradara sumati monisha sanekar uta vardanya shri badra Siddhi hongo omo a guru vajradar sumati monisha sanekar uta vardanya shri badra varsa manya sarva siddhi hongo Tinshu trabe solva tape tu lame kuson tu le vesreni Karmara tingson rangi nesum tim dikte kunjam bumsan sherwan top larya soha nile natsuv chute rangi nengara timbale wangshi topchin kushi drubnu sha panden tsawe lama rinpoche dagi ninkar pede tenshula kadrin chembo gone jesonte Koson toge ngodrub sedo so. Guru Buddha Aryatara diventa piccolo come un pollice.
Guru Buddha Aryatara becomes as small as a thumb, and he enters the central channel and sits with joy on the lotus flower of 8 petals at our heart. Our body, speech and mind, very subtle, become inseparable by the very subtle body, speech and mind of Aryatara. In an instant, we appear as Aryatara, with a face, 2 arms, the right hand in the mudra of supreme generosity and the left one in the mudra of the 3 jewels. At our heart there is the seed syllable Tam. We make the request for the blessings of the offerings.
Kundrali hana hana humpe Omo swabhava shuddha sarva dharma swabhava shuddha Tongpa nito kyura tongpe ngale yamle lung ramle me Ale migo ashegi ale yeshegi kapala yangshin gya chewe nangdu shanga dutsi nga shuwa jung'e Dutsi gyatso chembor kyuro omo ahong Omo Ahum. Omo Benza Amrita Kundrali Hana Hana Humpe. Omo Swabhava Shuddha Sarva Dharma Swabhava Shuddha Tomba Nitu Kyur Tombe Ngale Kamle Tube Nunamgi Nantu Hongle Chutze Nama Rangshi Tongni Namba Chutze Sosu Namba Che Chele Wangbo Druge Choyultu Sakpa Mebe Dewa Kebra Chenterwar Kyur Omo Argam Aho Omo Padyam Aho Omo Benza Pushbe Aho Omo Benza Dube Aho Omo Benza Aloke Aho Omo Benza Gende Aho Omo Benza Nevidye Aho Omo Benza Shabda Aho. Invitiamo.
We invite all the masters of the lineage with Aryatara and every other Buddha to come to this place as our own merit field to accumulate positive karmic force and to purify our own negative karmic forces.
Ran shinge nene lama da niso mebe jetsu mala sange dan jancho sempe tsogi korwar. Rendiamo omaggio a Guru Buddha.
We pay homage to Guru Buddha and Aryatara.
Dorje Chensha Pela Du Dagi Tseraba Ngone Drupela Tuson Sange Kunge Trilema Wenja Shilchi Chani Nyurshima Yumgyuru Utpa Namla Cha Tselo Om Guru Aryatare Sapariware Argam Padyen Shabda Pratisha Kuncho Sumla Da Gyabche Dikpa Tamche Sosrosha Drove Gela Cheira Sange Chanchoba Yigi Song Sange Chedan Sochola Chancho Pardo Da Gyabche Ranshin Tuni Rabdru Chir Jancho Simni Kebraki Jancho Chogi Simni Kegine Simchen Tamche Dagi Drundu Nir Jancho Chucho Yiwanche Drola Pinchira Sange Druparesho. Prendo rifugio nei tre gioielli.
I take refuge in the three jewels and I confess every negative action. I rejoice in the virtues of migrating beings and hold with my mind a Buddha's enlightenment. The Buddha, Dharma and the Supreme Assembly, I go for refuge until enlightenment. And to accomplish my welfare and that of others, I will generate the mind of enlightenment. Having generated the mind of supreme enlightenment, I shall invite all living beings to be my guests, to engage in the pleasing, supreme practices of enlightenment. May I attain Buddhahood to benefit living beings.
Simchen tamche dunga dan dunga gi gyudan chawara kyurchi. Simchen tamche dunga mepe dewa dan mitre wara kyurchi. Simchen tamche nyerin chat. Tangnyom la ne para kyurchi.
Aryatara and every other sacred being are absorbed into Guru Buddha that comes towards us and dissolves into light and enters into our forehead. Our body is filled with light. Everything dissolves into light. Everything that appears to us from the external reality to the contact of the body, to the perception that we have of ourselves, our own identity, everything appears to us as if it was autonomous, independent, objective, when actually, being interdependent, they are empty of such intrinsic existence. All phenomena are of the pure nature because they are empty of intrinsic existence, and so I am of the pure nature because I am also empty of intrinsic existence.
Sarva dharma swabhava shuddhoham.
The entire universe dissolves into light. Our body dissolves into light. There is nothing else but an infinite, luminous emptiness that is empty of intrinsic existence, being interdependent, inseparable by a deep bliss. And we are this non-dual union of bliss and emptiness in the very subtle state of the clear light.
Shuddha sarva dharma swabhava shuddhoham. Swabhava Shuddha Sarva Dharma Swabhava Shuddhoham Tongpa Nitu Kyo.
From the non-dual state of bliss and emptiness, in the clear light, for the benefit of all beings, we manifest on a gross level. The perception of the senses comes back. We find ourselves in a beautiful place, surrounded by mountains, with snow, with forests, rivers, lakes, fields of grass, many beautiful flowers, many different animals, wild animals in harmony. We hear the natural sounds of the nature, the water flowing, the birds singing, and every sound transmits the Dharma to us. The flowers show us interdependence. Every aspect of nature shows us love, harmony. Every aspect of this pure place transmits the path of the Dharma to us. On a beautiful lake arises a lot of lotus flower, vibrating with the sound of Pam. On that, the sound Ha generates a moon cushion. And on this moon cushion, we ourselves arise in the aspect of a point of light, emerald green, that vibrates with the sound of Tam, the seed syllable Tam. We are the seed syllable Tam. From ourselves, rays of light emanate to the 10 directions, making offerings to all the sacred beings and bringing a state of peace and joy to every sentient being. The rays of light come back and reabsorb in ourselves. In an instant, we arise in a more gross aspect, in the aspect of an Utpala flower, a blue Utpala flower. In the aspect of the flower, but made of light, transparent and luminous, representing our own gross body. Once again, rays of light emanate from us, going to the sacred beings, making offerings, helping the sentient beings and bringing peace to them. The rays of light come back, and in an instant, we appear in a gross aspect with a face and 2 arms. We have a female body that is young, aspect of around 16 years old. Our skin has a emerald green color with shades of blue. We have a beautiful body that transmits a state of joy and peace. In the aspect of Aryatara, we have a central channel that is strong, 2 side channels that are weaker, with 5 chakras perfectly balanced. Our right hand is in the mudra of supreme generosity, and our left hand is in the mudra of the 3 jewels, representing the giving refuge to every being. On each one of the hands, she holds an Utpala flower that blooms at the height of the ears. Our right hand is stretched, representing our promptness to help every being, the compassion. The left leg is collected, representing the inner state that is inseparable, indivisible, of the correct view of reality. Our inner state is a constant samadhi on the ultimate nature of everything. We are adorned with 6 different types of jewels. There are bracelets, necklaces, earrings, representing that we are adorned by the generosity, morality, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. On our head, there are jewels of the 5 colors with 5 flowers, representing that we are adorned on our head with the 5 Dhyani Buddhas. We have developed fully the 5 wisdoms. The wisdom clear as a mirror of Vairocana, represented by the flower and the white jewel. The wisdom of the discernment of Amitabha, represented by the red jewel. The wisdom of the Dharmadhatu, of the pure mind, represented by the jewel and the blue flower. The wisdom of equanimity, represented by the yellow jewel and flower. And the wisdom that all accomplishes of Amoghasiddhi, represented by the green flower and jewel. At our heart, there is the syllable Tam, representing our body, a subtle mind and body. At our head, there is the Om syllable, and at the throat, the A syllable. And at the heart, the blue Hum. At the navel, the yellow Ha. And the yellow So, and at the secret chakra, the Ha, green Ya, Ha.
Sashi nama bendur yatar ngowa laktir tar jamba thakuroto neo sinda pemada utpala tsilgi kyabala chison dangwa veme gyatso namdu chucha natso tseshin ding chudren tume gemba tanshin silwe viso pamle pemada ma geb Devra tamye chango shi tolgi chon tele vesret teni che du yonsu gyurpale utpala ngombo tamge tsemba shiktu gyur te vetu shuvale rangni jetsuma kudo marke ge danche shindu changwa shilchi chani ba shishin zumba nangnum ralpa chichin so chebala Utpala dan rinpoche gen tume genba chingyu rinshin dum chaye chokchin dan yon kuncho sumso ge chagya chen nige utpal ngombo re zimba numa purshin geba rinpoche gen tamche ge genba tara natso ge nasa chen shab ye kyanshi yon kumbe dawe gyab ye chen Tsendam peche tamche sela yonsu tsokpara kyur te chivuro ku dorje ngowo om karpo drimbra sung dorje ngowo amarpo tukara tu dorje ngowo hungompo. Dalla sillaba tam.
From the syllable Tam at our heart, rays of light emanate, inviting Aryatara, the wisdom being, surrounded by the 21 Taras, to come to this place in front of us. From the deep of our heart, we make request to Aryatara, wisdom being, to come to this place.
Ran shinge nene gomba dan rawe jetsu mala drolma nyerche ge korwa dunge nam karache. Facciamo richiesta ad Aryatara.
We make request to Aryatara to come to this place, surrounded by the 21 Taras. Otala ine choyane
ma korche shek rendiamo omaggio.
We pay homage to Aryatara. We make requests. We openly admit every negativity, asking for the blessings to Aryatara to have the strength and the clarity to not repeat these mistakes. We rejoice of every virtuous action. We ask to Aryatara, request her to remain with us until the end of samsara and to guide us along the path. We dedicate every positive karmic force that has been generated for the enlightenment of all beings.
Drolma yumla cha tse lo che tsun pa ma droma dang chok chu tu sum shu pa yi ge che tam che la ku ne dang we cha ge we me to du po mar me tri sha se rol mo la so pa mo sha yi ge tu ne bu Ame sonam shesu so thoma mene tade bar mige chudan tsangme nga semni nyomo wangyur pe dikpa tamche shakpar ki nyoto rangya chanchu sem soso kiwo la sope tusum gewa chisap Sonam lani daira semche namge sambadam loyi chedra chittawar chechun tumon tekpa chegi korlo kortuso korwa chisi maton par nyange mida tukcheyi dunge gyatsur chingwayi Simche namla siksu so dagi sonam chisapa tamche chanchuba gyurkyurne ribong mito drowayi drembe peto dagyurci. Rendiamo omaggio alle 21 tare.
We pay homage to the 21 taras. In each verse, rays of light and nectar emanate from each one of the 21 taras to us, realizing her sacred actions.
Chikden sumgo chuke shegi gesra chewa lenyi chuma Chatse tenge dawa kuntu kangwa gyani tsikpe shema karma tongra tsoba namgi rabdu chewe ura barma Chatse sermo chune kegi peme chani nambra gema jimba tsundru katub shiwa seba samden chuyo nima Chatse deshin shepe tsutor taye nambra gyawa chema Malu paro jimba tepe, gyawe segi shindu tema, chatse tutara hun yige, dedan choda namka gangma, jikden dumbo shabki nende, luba mepa guba numa, chatse gyachi mela tsampa, longla natso wanchu chuma, jumbo rolan trisa namda, nejin tsogi dune tema, Chatse dreche chadam peki, paro chuko rabdu joma, yekun yungya shabki nende, mepa drupa shindu parma, chatse ture jikpa chembo, dugi pawo nambra joma, chuke shani dronire denze, drawo tamche, chatse kuncho sumso chage, sormo tuka nambra gema, Malu chugi korlo gempe rangi wegi tsonan Chatse rabtu gawa jikpe uge wegi drewa pe ma Shepa Rabshe Tutarai, Dudan Jigde Wandu Tsema, Chatse Sashi Kyongwe Tsonam, Tamche Guba Numanima, Hige Hongi, Pumpa Tamche Namba Druma, Chatse Dawe Dumbu Ugen, Gemba Tamche. Opa mele takpa shintu wara tsema, chatse kabe tame me tar, barwe drewe unanema, yekya yungu kune korge, drai pungni nambra jama, chatse sashi ngola chagi, tilgi nuchi shabgi duma, dronyere chenze yige hongi, rimba dumbo namnige, Chatse dema gema shima nyange deshin choyo nima soha omda yandan tempe dikpa chembo chomba ni Chatse kune koraga we drai luni nambra gema ige chupe ngani kope ripa hunle droma nima Chatse turesha Jomba ture rabjoni, tsawe ngage tepa di dang, cha tsel wani nishu tsa chi. Dal profondo del cuore,
from the depth of our heart, we pay homage to Aryatara.
Chiediamo ad Aryatara
We request to Aryatara for the blessings, and we make a mandala offering with a pure environment, creating the causes and conditions so that every being can enjoy a pure environment.
kam nirya tayami. Chiediamo ad Aryatara
We request to Aryatara to bless us, to purify all the negativities, from our negative karmic forces to every negative conditioning, physical and mental or verbal.
deshe kebe yun che tsun tu che tercheme dagi diktriba chanto sol kema arya tare ama.
From the left hand of Aryatara, from the ring finger, a flow of white nectar comes out, that comes to our head, entering from our crown, filling our central channel, and from the central channel enters all the subtle channel, the 31 channels of the body, 16 of the throat, 8 of the heart, 64 of the navel, and 32 of the secret chakra. From our subtle channels, the nectar expands to all the 72,000 subtle channels of the body, reaching every part of the body, and becomes full of nectar. Every karmic force that we have is dissolved and goes out of our body as a sort of sweat that dissolves into the space around us. Every negative conditioning of our body, speech and mind melts and goes out of ourselves as a sort of sweat and black smoke that dissolves in the space around us. Our body becomes clean, transparent as a crystal, luminous and pure, just as our mind becomes peaceful and free from every negative karmic force of the past and negative conditioning.
Sowa tabe kyabyun kyabjinge chagya zebe sinzo ne karpo bugu choso tsangma shik narge chungwa range chiwo tsambe pugra shukpe nangne dutse karpo öme gyun tabo kya chil chil pa. Lügi nan tamche kangwe diktriba nyetun trime tso tamche changshin ta lü shel kong ya takpa tabur kyu. Nostro corpo rimane trasparente.
Our body remains transparent and luminous, our mind peaceful and joyful. The 21 taras are absorbed in the green tara in front of us. With Za, the Supreme Mother Aryatara, wisdom being, comes to us, with whom she enters in us, with Bam, she becomes stable in us, with Ho, we become inseparable of the Supreme Mother Aryatara.
Tsomo la tim, tsomo ya rang la timpe, niso me pare kyur. Za hong bam ho.
From the seed syllable tam at our heart, rays of light emanate, inviting the 5 Dhyani Buddhas and the 5 Great Mothers to grant us the initiation. The Mothers, as they recite the mantra, they pour nectar which enters our head, fills up our body, generating a deep state of bliss, physical and mental. The nectar pours out of our head, transforming into Buddha Amitabha, our own root guru, that adorns our head. The deities of the initiation, the 5 Dhyani Buddhas and the 5 Great Mothers, are absorbed into us.
Öpa me tsoburo gyurbe wangel ha ringa kordan cheba chenrang Omo pancha kula sapari ware argampa dien pushbe dube aloke gende nevidye shabda pratishta hunso ha Kye namge dala ngombra wangkurdu so She sovata be tenamge yeshege dutse kang pumba togne Omo sarva tatagata abhishengate samaya shireya hon She dutse chu wangkur kukan trimata chu lama chitsutu kilwale lama öpa megi ugenchim Wangel hanam kyan Daniela timpar kyu. Trasformiamo le offerte esterne da essere
We transform the outer offerings to be made to ourselves as aretara.
Benza amrita kunrali hana hana hompe Omo sobawa shuddha sarva dharma sobawa shuddha Tongba nitu kyur tongbe ngale kamle tebe ne namge nanto Hongle chötse nama rangshi tongni namba chötse sose namba chen Chele wangpo druge choyoloto Sapa mebe dewa kebra chen terwar kyur Omo argam ahon, omo padyam ahon Omo benza pushbe ahon, omo benza dube ahon, omo benza aloke ahon, omo benza gende ahon, omo benza nevidye ahon, omo benza shabda Dal nostro cuore si emanano
From our heart, the deities of the offerings are emanated that bring the offerings to ourselves and we experience bliss and emptiness, and then the deities of the offerings are reabsorbed into our heart.
Omo aryatare sapariware argam pratishthaye soha Omo aryatare sapariware padyem pratishtahun soha Om aryatare sapariware pushbe pratishtahun soha Om aryatare sapariware dube pratishtahun soha Om aryatare sapariware aloke pratishtahun soha Omo aryatare sapariware gende pratishtahun soha Om aryatare sapariware nevidye pratishtahun soha Omo aryatare sapariware shabda pratishtahun Omo aryatare sapariware Omo ahum. Rendiamo omaggio ad Aryatara.
We pay homage to Aryatara as ourselves, remembering our own qualities remembering the internal and external characteristics of Avatar that we are.
Yungyur utpanamla chatsela al chakra del capo.
At the crown chakra, from a white tam syllable comes a white tara surrounded by 32 white taras.
Sewe charala sewe chivo de chenge kol senta sumchu so nibe viso tamye karpo le chetsuma karmo la randan rao sumchu tsa nige korwa al chakra della gola.
At the throat chakra, from the red tam syllable comes a red tara surrounded by 16 red taras.
Korlo tsada chudrupe viso tamma marpole chetsuma marmola rangra chudrugi korwa al chakra del cuore.
At my heart chakra, from the blue tam syllable arises blue tara surrounded by 8 blue taras.
Korlo tsada gebe teora tam ngompole chetsuma ngomo la rangra gege korwa al chakra.
At the navel chakra, from the yellow tam seed syllable arises a yellow tara surrounded by 64 yellow taras.
Korlo tsada drukchu tsashi viso tam serpole jetsuma sermola rangra drukchu tsashi korwa al chakra segreto.
At the secret chakra, from the green tam syllable arises a green tara surrounded by 32 green taras.
Korlo tsada so nige viso tam jangole jetsuma jangola rangra so nige korwa nel chakra del cuore.
At the heart chakra, at the heart of the blue tara, there is a moon cushion similar to a crystal. On top of it, there is a tam syllable. The tam syllable, that is emerald green in color, surrounded by the mantra garland. The garland spins anti-clockwise, emanating light in all directions. And as we recite the mantra, the light is emanated first of all, filling up our own body.
menshege mendre ka bukpa tabu so tamye honge tsembe tar dune tsamte ye koroto yige chupe korwar kyu dalla ghirlanda di mantra.
From the garland of mantra, rays of light are emanated, filling up our whole body of light, and from our body the rays of light expand, making offerings to every sacred being that returns to us and absorbs into us, and going to all the sentient beings, helping them to get out of their suffering, bringing them to a state of peace, reaching the state of Aryatara, the emanation is reabsorbed into us. From each one of the taras in each one of the 5 chakras, taras are emanated of the respective colors, going towards the sentient beings, helping them, bringing them to the state of Aryatara. The beings recite the mantra with us after having reached the state of Tara, and the emanations are reabsorbed in the respective taras of the respective chakras.
Om tare tutare ture svoha, 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 om tare tutare ture som tare tutare ture som tare tutare. Om tare tutare ture som tare tutare. Tare tu tare tu resum. Tare tu tare. omo tare tuttare tore soha. Om Padma Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Padmasattate Nopa Titatiru Me Bhava Sitokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Me Prayaja Sarva Karma Sutta Me Citam Shriyan Kuro Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Padma Mamim Padma Bhava Ma Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Omo Aryatare Sapare Vare Argam Padyam Pushbe Dube Aloke Gende Nevidye Shabda Pratisha Omo Aryatare Sapare Vare Omo Ahum Ladan Lami Chepenge Shabge Pemo Latute Pomba Kunle Drenze Ma Pagina 102, page 102. Dal nostro cuore si emanano raggi di luce.
From our heart, rays of light radiate, reaching all worlds and its beings. All worlds transform into the celestial mansion, and all beings the supreme deity. Our body gradually dissolves into light, and all the deities of the five wheel dissolve into the principal mother. The white dissolves into the red into the... Our body gradually dissolves into light, which dissolves into the blue Tara at the heart, that dissolves into the mantra Garland, that dissolves into the Tam syllable, that dissolves in the Hum syllable, that gradually from below to up dissolves into light. In an instant we appear as Aryatara, with a face and two arms. At the head there is the white Om, at the throat the red Ha, and at the heart the blue Hum.
Kolo ngaye lanam kya nyinge tsomo la tim raya temene vetu shute nyinge lar tim la vetu shune ngakten la tim te tamye la tim te hung la tim hunge shabkyo oni ha la ha gowo la te datse la te tigle la te nada la te chedra chedra mik mik par kyu. Tong pe ngale chule nya dangwe tsuge rangni jetsume kur shembe chiburo om drimbra a tukara honge tsempar kyu. Dorna kyal kun tu che ter che me karge wang por ngo su shal sik shing sungge du tsinge shin che sungwe ge Jetsun lame kutse raptenchi namkar tinle chokche tembe dreme sasumgi drove munsel tato ne gyur chi kiewa kuntu yanda lamada Ralme cheki pe la long che ching. Sadan lamge yunten rabzone. Dorje change kopa nyur tobe sho. Nimo dele tsendele. Nime kuyan dele kshin. Ninsen takto delekpe. Kuncho sumke chinge lop. Kuncho sumke ngodrugo tsol. Kuncho sumke trashi sho. Mime tsewe terche cherezi drime kempe wambo jambelia. Dupo malu chumse sangwe da kanche kepe tsugen tsungkapa. Losan trakpe shabla solwade. Fra le sezioni,
between the sessions, we always possibly recite the mantra of Tara, and we don't count it.
recite the mantra of Tara without counting it. Omo Tare Tutta.